Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and Android 14 surprisingly released today as a developer preview. You can see it says welcome to the Android 14 developer preview, and you can install this on supported devices. Now so far, only Pixel devices are supported. Eventually they'll probably roll out other support as well. But right now the Pixel 4a 5G through the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro are currently supported. And you actually have to install this through either a web browser or manually install it. I used the Android Flash tool in a Chrome browser. It was pretty simple, and I flashed it on the 5a 5G. So this is all updated, ready to go. So let's talk about what's new. Now if we go into our settings here, and then we go down to our system update page, under System Update, you can see the new name here where it actually says it's Upside Down Cake. That's the name listed here, and it's currently updated with the February 5th security update. Now, as far as what's new, if we go back into our settings here, and then we go under battery, we've got some updates here. They've changed this around a little bit, and let me bring in Android 13 to compare. And as you can see, side by side, they're pretty similar, but a little bit different this time. So if we go into battery usage, again, you'll see it's a little different, and now we have a breakdown by apps. If we take a look at breakdown by apps, we can see breakdown by system, and it's also giving us a screen on time since last full charge. So that's nice that they've put that there. Of course, since installing this, it's only been up a couple hours, so that's why you see only a few hours there. And then under battery saver, they've updated this as well. So it looks a little bit different. It says extreme battery saver, and then we have adaptive battery at the bottom where it says, if you tap on it, it says use adaptive battery, extend battery life based on your phone usage. So it's gotten a little update. That doesn't mean this won't change a little bit in the future though. Back in settings, if we go to connected devices, then connection preferences, you'll see that we now have fast pair. Now we had this in earlier betas of Android 13. They've brought it back for Android 14. So we can use fast pair, scan for nearby devices, and then pair to those quickly if they're available. Again, back in our settings, if we go down to security and privacy, this gets a little bit of a redesign as well. Just a slight change here, but you can see it's a little bit different. Not anything huge, but a little bit of a redesign. That could change again in the future as well. Within our settings, if we scroll down toward the bottom and go under System, under multiple users, if you have this enabled and you have a guest enabled, you now have the option to allow guests to use phone. This is an option that allows call history to be shared with the guest user. So that's something, they've just added that little option here. However, it does crash on me. This is an early preview, so it makes sense that it's having a few issues here and there. Android 14 brings some updates to accessibility. So if we go down to accessibility, under accessibility, if we scroll down to display size and text, you'll see we have a lot more options now. We can bring the text up to 200 times what it was originally. So it's also dynamic in the way that it controls the text. So for example, it's non-linear scaling so that some titles, as you can see here where it says preview, don't increase to 200% like the titles or the labels underneath each one of the apps. So it's more dynamic. So already large fonts won't really need to be increased, and it knows that and only increases that which is a little bit smaller. So it's great that they're adding these accessibility features. There's also going to be per app language preferences as well. So that will be updated when Android 14 is out as the apps are updated by developers. Now the way gestures are handled will be a little bit different in the future as well. This is currently a developer option, but you'll be able to see a preview of what you're swiping back to, and it's sort of intelligent so it knows what you might want to get back to. So that's something you'll see integrated more or implemented more in future updates. In settings, down at the bottom, under About, you can see all of the device information. If we scroll down, you'll now see that we have EID and it says tap to show. It doesn't show it by default and hides it. So maybe if I'm showing you this in a video or you're sharing it with a friend, you can't just see it right away. So it hides that information without just showing it to you directly. I really like that they've implemented that. Now, in the future, sideloading of older apps can also be disallowed in Android 14, as well as older apps in general that don't comply with current safety standards or security standards. So those are things that are going to be implemented. As developers don't update their apps, they won't be able to be used on the current update of Android. Also, there's going to be satellite connectivity. That will be added to future phones with Qualcomm chipsets that support it, and that's built into Android 14 to be able to understand what that is. Now, as far as additional features and updates, there's not a whole lot more to talk about. This is an early developer preview to help developers get ready for their overall launch of their apps to comply with whatever's new and implement any new features that are there. There's updates to security, like I mentioned, and also updates that allow you to duplicate apps. So within apps, if you have a third-party app, you could duplicate this. There's little things throughout and changes that are preparing for upcoming folding phones and tablets as well. Now, as far as when to expect this to launch, well, currently developer previews go from now into March, according to the Google timeline, and early betas will go from mid-March or April until either July up to September. They've typically released different updates in August or September as far as the final release, so we can expect the same thing here unless they bring it a little bit earlier than normal. And so that's all there is so far in Developer Preview 1. If I find anything else and you'd like to hear more about it, let me know in the comments below. I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.